What's up everybody, it is I, Hero Vange, and welcome to another Pokemon Go PvP Ferocious Cup video. Today we're gonna talk about how to build a team that can possibly win you your Ferocious Cup. But before we get into all of that, right, I want you to know, I understand, I get it, I see you, I understand, like that. What does that mean? What is it? What was that? All right. It is a frustrating time to be a PvPer. Yes? Very frustrating, okay? The dust cost in the Ferocious Cup is too damn high! It's crazy how much you can spend on the Ferocious Cup and still not have a good team. Yes? Yes. What else? Charge TMs are basically extinct at this point. When was the last time you got one in a raid? My god, right? And then when you finally have one, you use it, you get water balls on your Suicune, and you're like, And to top it all off, the worst person of all time, Hero Vange, hasn't been uploading for so many days now. He put out his basic meta simplified guide. It was good for base level knowledge. You start to build up your mons, but then the synergies got you confused because everything's like a soft counter, and then you start to lose against everybody and you're just annoyed. You're annoyed that the dude who's supposed to walk you through, right, give you the baby steps, hold your hand through these ferocious streets, isn't uploading. The thing is, I've been grinding. I've been with you on that path of frustration, lack of dust, lack of TMs, and I have been grinding my booty off. Once again, I just want to say thank you for your patience, and also I apologize for uploading so inconsistently, but thank you so much for staying with me, for supporting me, for watching my meta simplified guide over and over again, because I haven't been uploading, okay? But today, I got you, alright? I got you with the high level strats. I am almost 100% sure, like 99.99999% sure that this video is gonna answer so many of your questions. You're still confused, so am I. But when I figured out all this stuff, my win rate went from like not so great to pretty good. Okay, pretty good. And actually, like, I was feeling so frustrated when I built my team because I have been grinding my butt off, and then like my win rate was sucky. Okay, no tournaments, just practice battles, but sucky. Okay. Yeah, because I do see you. I see you on Twitter. You're frustrated. Everybody's trying to figure out Ferocious Cup. Everybody's trying to get like a secret strat type situation. Trying to figure out like team of 6, and you know, still frustrated with the dust, with the charge TMs. And how are you gonna get charge TMs now when Cobalion is such a trash Pokemon, right? I heard from people who actually know stuff about raids that it's actually not that great. So I mean, like, what's the incentive of raiding now? Not really that high. At least Darkrai was pretty good, right? But now it's not really that high. But you need to, because charge TMs, yes, I know it is a frustrating time to be a PvPer. But at least let me help you with figuring this out, okay? Let me like lighten the load just a little bit, all right? So where are these high level strats gonna come from? Is it gonna come from you? Am I gonna give you the high level strats? Actually, no. We're gonna copy it off some high level homies because some tournaments have popped off, right? So we can like try to figure out their line of 6s and like figure out how they were thinking and answer so many of the questions that you guys have been, you know, popping off on Twitter about, or popping off on Reddit, or hitting me up in the DMs. I see you, okay? Let me give you this video as my answer, because there's so many, like a lot of DMs, okay? Question numero uno. What do I bring if I still don't have a last resort Umbreon? You are the most frustrated people. I feel it, man. I feel it. It's like touching lava. Okay? It hurts. I get it. Okay. I did have a recommendation on my Meta Simplified guide, but it was pretty vague, right? But I'm not gonna leave you hanging like that. I have a solid recommendation for you. In this video, we're gonna go through the stuff in the things, and I will have a recommendation for you. Question number 2. Water types. Should I bring multiple? Which one should I have? Should I have Bibarel, Vaporeon, and the Pokemon that is actually like the most confusing right now, Suicune, right? People, you can feel there's something there. Well, I at least I feel like that. I feel like some people in my circle feel like that. There's something there, but like, right? Exactly that. You can't get it, okay? But we will talk about it. Question number 3, and this is going to be a touchy subject, so hold your feelings back. Hold your feelings back. You might punch your phone or like whatever it is you're watching this on. Okay, chill, relax, take a deep breath. Are there must-haves for the Ferocious Cup that are associated with higher win rate, right? Like getting a good score, okay? And is Umbreon with Last Resort one of them? There we go. Okay. Those 3 questions are the base level questions that people have been asking me all over everywhere, alright? But I want to take it to like a higher level, right, with you, okay? We can't just copy their strats, right? We can't just copy their line of 6s and like hope to do the same because people are already looking at this stuff, right? So I want to take it to like a next level, and I've got 3 more questions that we're gonna answer in this video. Question 1 for the higher level stuff, right? With the tournament winners, with the people who have done really well in the tournaments, in these massive tournaments, are there patterns that you can see in their teams that could be associated with higher win rate? Number 2, are there emerging strategies with Pokemon that people didn't consider at the start but are looking pretty good because the meta is semi-formed now? That's another good question. Last one, for the people who just want to have like a base level simple team, right? Are there any team lineups that look pretty standard that I can just copy and start practicing with so I can start to feel like I'm doing okay? There is actually one, okay? There is one pattern that I see that's pretty strong, makes a lot of sense, okay? So if you want to just keep it simple, right? For now, okay, we can talk about that, but that's the last thing that we're gonna talk about. All right, so the first tournament that we're gonna take a look at here is the Ferocious in the 6, hosted by Go Live PvP, which is a fantastic community. I like what you're doing, alright, with the live streams and stuff. It's awesome, okay? They are taking PvP in Toronto to the next level, alright? So yeah, now we're gonna take a look at the teams, but first want you to look at the tournament, how it finished and stuff. It is a 6-round tournament. They had 44 competitors. One guy swept it, okay? Guan87, big shouts out to you. Amazing, bro. I was watching the last battle and I was like, dang. I've got his team right here up top, right? So that's the winner right there. That is the Guan87 formula, all right? And then down below, we've got all the people who got 5 wins, 1 loss, all right? Because I feel like let's aim high, right? Let's try to get here, or at least there. Okay, let's aim high. Okay, now some outliers. These 2 teams right here, I feel are outliers, right? These are people who got to where they are because they have a really high level of skill plus a really deep understanding of the meta that I don't think average players will have, right? I'm talking about myself because I don't get it, dude. When I look at this, I'm like, what the frick? Now, with the 2 teams sandwiched in between the 2 outliers, I feel that these are more representative to how most people are gonna play when they have stuff figured out, right? So they figured it out so early, and I feel like this is like solid, right? Couple that with, you know, a lot of skill, right? A lot of knowledge, right? And you can get to where they are, basically. Now, I want you to look at the whole thing, right? Something is missing, right? Just eyeball the whole thing. Electricity. Where are the electric types? Double water was supposedly like the strat, right? The strat, like so many people are talking about the double water strat, right? Where are the electric types? So I have a feeling that it's like the thinking is something like this, right? On my meta simplified guide, I was talking about like high fragility Pokemon that are risky because they have so many things that absolutely wall them and also farm them down, but are hard counters to the things that they counter. Like what? Ninetales. Ninetales was my example. Ninetales is on the left side of the cake, the left side of the Christmas tree thing, and you know, farms down Umbreon, but so many things farm it down, like Lyron, like Aggron. That's what I said in my video, right? The thing is, if you think about it, right? Minun, Raichu, do they hard counter the waters? No, they don't, right? And Raichu is actually like pretty squishy. Pretty squishy. Like a Hyper Fang will dent the both of them, right? A Hyper Fang from Bibarel. And like, are there Pokemon that, you know, absolutely wall the electric types? Yes, actually, because Nidoqueen has been uprising, has been like trending. Yes, there's actually like a lot of Pokemon that actually like take out the electrics. So as risky as Ninetales, but yet not as good, right? So I think that's the thinking there. But don't delete your electric types yet from your team. All right, don't do it. Not just yet. Now, since none of them have electric types, they've increased their water coverage elsewhere. Okay, so they have some generalists, right? We'll just say that, right? That also have some pretty good water coverage, like what? Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales, if you can get that 137 or 138 defense bulk point, can handle Vaporeon, can definitely handle Suicune, but Suicune, we'll talk about Suicune later, okay? It's kind of like an outlier, honestly, okay? And then Bibarel, no. It loses to Bibarel, okay? But Bibarel, you can beat that with Skuntank, which a lot of them have, right? Skuntank, you can definitely beat Bibarel. But with Vaporeon, Skuntank has to hit a certain bulk point. Let me just tell you what it is. It's 92 for the default Vaporeon. For like a higher PvP IV Vaporeon, it's much lower, right? So 92 is fine, okay? 92 defense Skuntank. Alright, okay, you already know how to do that? Yes, okay. Suicune versus Skuntank. We'll talk about Suicune later, alright? It's an outlier. What else? Umbreon. All of them have Umbreon, and Umbreon is a very good water counter, okay? It can handle all of them, okay? So, yeah, except if, I mean, Vaporeon can get lucky, hit the Hydro Pump, kill Umbreon, but I mean, you know, that's where the skill comes in, right? Other water counters, Shelgon right there is actually pretty good. It's a very good water counter. Look into it, it's pretty decent. If you don't want to risk having another Pokemon on your team that is weak to Charm, then you can go Furret and Linoon. Let me just tell you, they lose to the Charmers as well, but not as hard as Shelgon, right? So that's the thing. But yes, Linoon with the Grass Knot, you know, can do pretty good against the water types, and Furret is interesting. It's an outlier, but it can pull it off, alright? Just the Hyper Beam, risk it, biscuit. Okay? Type situation. Actually, with Bibarel, you can, if you have good IVs, you can go straight Brick Break. But for Vaporeon, it's Hyper Beam. Another thing that you're gonna notice is they actually minimize their water weakness to one Pokemon or no Pokemon. Okay, no Pokemon weak to water. Okay, so right here with Guan, he has Alolan Sandslash that loses to a lot of the waters. Nidoqueen, you know, loses to a lot of the waters. Alolan Marowak there, you know, loses to the waters because it's a fire type. And down there, none, right? None. It's like most of them have, you know, some fight against the waters, right? Now, the reason why I'm emphasizing this, and I think this is a very, very important lesson, right? The reason why I'm talking about their lack of electric type Pokemon, their increased generalists that do have some decent water type coverage, and the fact that they're all minimizing their water weakness to Pokemon isn't the fact that, oh, water. It's actually that they're minimizing their fragile Pokemon because they all have Alolan Ninetales on their team, which is, I would say, much more worth it compared to an electric type. So if you think about it, Alolan Ninetales is like, okay, I have an opening, sure, it's a farmable Pokemon, but the thing is, I can cover the most important Pokemon in the meta with this Pokemon, plus covering its counters is pretty easy. Just have Umbreon plus a Water Gunner, and you have the hard counters for Ninetales. Like what are those? Nidoqueen, Lyron. You got that with Umbreon and just like a Water Gunner, okay? Pew 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 pew, done. With the electric types, with Minun and Raichu, what Pokemon can like hard counter them but gives Bibarel and Umbreon problems? Shelgon can GG Easy beat the electric types. GG Easy, okay? Can beat Bibarel GG Easy, okay? And against Umbreon, it loses, but it's not that bad. Okay, that's one example that is being used in the tournaments, right? Shelgon, right? Plus another one, okay, another less like soft tier counter type situation, generalist type situation, right? Linoon. With Minun, if you land that dig, it's lights out. Plus the thing is, Linoon is being used as a safe counter, not safe counter, safe switch type situation, so it will have that energy. Okay, and let's say if Linoon swaps in, okay, think about this, right? And you have Bibarel and Minun in the back. Oh boy, that's not a good situation, right? Definitely not a good situation. Okay, so that's another one. Umbreon, obviously, it loses that, but yeah, with Bibarel, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then against the electric types, well, Minun specifically, it's not that bad. What else? Other electric types. Okay, think about it. You bring your Minun, okay, and Raichu pops up. You have your Bibarel in the back as well. It's also not a good situation, right? It's also not a good situation, guys. So basically what I'm saying is there's these other soft tier generalist type situations that can ram through these electric types, not just Nidoqueen, which is Uprising now, which is a very, very strong Pokemon, right? Very strong Pokemon. And it doesn't, I mean, you're open to more things compared to Alolan Ninetales. Bro, can take out Shelgon, can take out Linoon, okay? Can take out, what was the third thing that I said? Electric type. Can take out electric type, okay? That's a lot of deep learnings, right? Definitely deep learnings. There's a lot that you can learn just looking at this, okay? But yeah, that's mostly like team patterns associated to winning, which is our fourth question, right? Or like our first question for like the higher level strats. Now, last thing before we move on to the next tournament is that I want you to look at Guan's team, right? Take a look at the third Pokemon, right? Alolan Sandslash. Now, the night before I watched that live stream, and I was doing pretty bad, like with the practice battles, right? I started to feel that Alolan Sandslash would be a good choice because I started to get to feel the meta, right? I started to get that like some insights and stuff. It's kind of got the Charmers, kinda, okay, softer counter compared to Lyron and Nidoqueen for sure, but sure. Right? It's got that, okay? It's kind of got the Charmers. It's got a pretty good fight against Umbreon, okay? Umbreon actually comes out, like, I think with 5 HP in the Sims because of straight Ice Punch, okay? That's a, yeah, it's a decent situation. Plus, if you have an opponent with a really trashy Umbreon, which is highly likely again, right? You might pull it off, okay? 5 HP, guys. 5 HP, so yeah. Another thing is, it's kind of got the electric types, okay? Bulldoze, alright? Bulldoze is nice. Water types, okay, yep, it gets hard countered by the water types, but it does have the Nidos, okay? The Nidos are ground types. They're weak to ice, and yeah, just straight Ice Punch, you can kill them, and it's actually pretty, like, strong. Like, one Ice Punch, lights out, okay? So I think that is a Pokemon that we can put in the category of emerging Pokemon. Why do I keep doing this? Emerging Pokemon strategies, which I think is a very, very strong thing, which is actually surprised me when I saw the live stream and Guan used it and he won, and I was like, oh my freaking god. But I didn't build it because I didn't have any dust. It sucks, right? Okay, moving on to the next tournament. The Domadores de Bestias in Mexico, which is a 52 participant 6-round Ferocious Cup tournament. One person swept it. GBRL 1303 got it. Okay, big shout out to you. Excellent work. There was no live stream that I was able to watch, so I don't know how anybody played, but we can talk about their teams. Now, if you take a look at the bird's eye view, generalist, just like eyeball it type situation, it is completely different from the Ferocious in the 6. There are electric types everywhere. Now, these guys right here, for me, are the outliers. Their team comp, their line of 6, right, does not make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Actually, like, the winner more, definitely like 100% more than any other team that I've like studied in the Ferocious Cup, right? This guy 100%, or girl, I'm actually not sure, right? 100% does not make any sense to me. Okay, but we'll talk about why later. But the thing that we can pick out from this information here is the answer to the most important Ferocious Cup question. What do you bring if you don't have Last Resort Umbreon? Okay, so earlier we talked about how Umbreon is a good water counter, right? We were talking about that in the Ferocious Cup, right? Umbreon can kind of like handle all the waters, blah 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 blah, right? And also protects Alolan Ninetales from a lot of hard counters to it, right? Now the thing is, if you look at their team comps, right? If you look at it, you can see like a common pattern that will kind of give you like the answer, okay, of high level players to what do I do if I don't have a last resort Umbreon, and that is one, Shelgon. So it's two Pokemon. Okay, I'm sorry, it's definitely like not one Pokemon. One is Shelgon, okay, who is a very adequate water counter, very adequate electric type counter, right? So yeah, it's pretty solid. Same weakness, okay, Charm, which is, you know, nice, can also take out Nidoqueen. Okay, all right. So it's looking like a Umbreon, a little bit, but it loses to Umbreon, right? Okay, and the other one is, now this is where these two Pokemon differ, right? So it's Shelgon for sure, plus either Alolan Raticate or Skuntank, and this is why this team right here does not make any sense to me in my head, right? So you have Shelgon, okay? Weak to Charm. Weak to Charm. And then you also have Alolan Raticate, and that just... what the hell? Okay? So this person right here, okay, GBRL, I see you, okay? You are insane, okay? Has to get that Nidoqueen on that Alolan Ninetales. Has to, okay? Because if it doesn't... that's not a good situation. Okay, Alolan Raticate loses to Alolan Ninetales. Raichu loses to Alolan Ninetales. Suicune, most of the time, loses to Alolan Ninetales. Shelgon loses to Alolan Ninetales. Then you have the mirror, and then you have Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is your only saving grace. This person is a monster. Okay, the prediction skills must be like next level. They see, you know, reality 5 minutes ahead. 5 minutes, that's way too much. 5 seconds ahead compared to everybody else. All right, okay. And then the person down below who, you know, finished 5-1 has I think the better choice for average players, because, you know, it makes no sense to me, okay? For average players, Skuntank. Skuntank is actually a decent water counter. Better IVs, better Skuntank, better water type counter, okay? But it makes more sense because it doesn't lose to the Charm as hard. So if you have Crunch, you can just straight Crunch Alolan Ninetales. You got it. Okay, we'll have to force a block, and then you'll kill it with the second Crunch. Okay, but it's a softer Charm, anti-Charm Pokemon, but it does the job of Umbreon, right? So that makes sense. Yes. So again, for the people with no Last Resort Umbreon, your saving grace is Shelgon plus Alolan Raticate. If that makes sense to you, okay? If your thinking is on this level right here, okay, which is next level because this person won, okay? Okay, cool. You can do that. But I think the safer sorry, I punched the mic. The safer choice is Skuntank, okay? All right? So Shelgon plus Skuntank, or Shelgon plus Alolan Raticate, but I'm not sure about that. I really don't. Oh my god. I'm scared. This scares me, alright? This person is very skilled, probably. Very, very skilled. Now, with that said though, we can also answer the second question. Which water types? So, if you look at the graphic, right? If you were like paying attention to like the water types in the Ferocious in the 6, and of course, the Domadores de Bestias in Mexico, right? Yes, you'll see that there's no actual pattern that leads to success, right? Bibarel, Vaporeon, both? Yeah, just one? There's no real pattern, okay? Suicune, let's say... Alright, listen. Suicune, let's set that aside for now. Just don't think about it for now. We'll talk about it again. I promise we will talk about it later, okay? But yes, Bibarel or Vaporeon, okay? But, right? And you can kind of like piggyback on the idea of covering weaknesses on your team, right? What's the difference between Vaporeon and Bibarel, right? One of the major differences is Ninetales. Bibarel beats Ninetales. Vaporeon loses. Okay? Alright? Now, here's the thing. Look at your team comp, right? Look at your team of 6. Do that, okay? Do that a couple of times, okay? And then take a picture and then send it to me on Twitter because it's gonna look funny. But do that and and then I couldn't hold it in. I'm sorry. And then assess your team's weakness to Alolan Ninetales. Okay? If you have a team that is very weak to Alolan Ninetales, you can kind of like decrease that weakness by having Bibarel. But if you have a team that is weaker to dark types, alright, I'm talking Skuntank, Umbreon, okay? Let's say you have double Charmers on your team and you're kind of a little bit scared of Skuntank. Vaporeon generally does better with Skuntank, but it is like if Skuntank hits that bulk point, no, it still loses. But Hydro Pump, Vaporeon can Hail Mary kill Umbreon, right? So that's definitely a thing, right? So ups and down. Like take a look at your team again. Okay, Ninetales or Umbreon weakness. Look for it. What do you cover? Pick and choose your water type user like that. Now, I was going to save this till the very end of the video because it's a very lazy way for you to think, but I think it's appropriate to talk about it right now. Okay, we can answer another question, another very important question with this tournament, right? And that question is there a safe line that I can just copy and test out so I can feel a little bit better because I suck at the Ferocious Cup? I was gonna save this until the very end, but I think it's very, very important that we talk about it right now, just as we talked about the water types. This right here is the 2 second placers by Buckle's point scoring I don't know what it's called, but by Buckles, they were the second placers, alright? They both have the same team comp. Now look at this. This is a very, very strong team comp, okay? They've got the double water strat. They've got Nidoqueen. They've got a very balanced team with a safe switch Skuntank, okay? I think this is a solid team that if you wanted to copy and try to test out, right? Plus you can see it's working. They both got second place, right? So just a little bit of, you know what I mean? They could have won, okay? Yes, you can do this, but don't be lazy. I mean, come on. But yeah, it's a strong team comp. Consider it. Alright, so we got that Umbreon question. You got Shelgon plus Alolan Raticate for more water type coverage because Skuntank not that great of a water type counter, but I mean, it'll do it. Okay, and then Skuntank, safer choice because Shelgon is already weak to Charm. Skuntank is not, alright? So you pick and choose, okay? And then with the water types, okay, you got Vaporeon having more dark type coverage, Bibarel having more Ninetales coverage, alright? For the double up, you can use that very simple but very powerful team comp like line of 6 that got people to second place, okay? So yeah, for the double water type situation, okay? So yes, nice. Now, what is another thing that we have yet to answer that we can already answer right here, okay? We can finally answer the third base level question, which is what are the must-have Pokemon, right? What are the must-haves on my team? I have to absolutely have this Pokemon. So obviously, Last Resort Umbreon is not a must-have because this person, one, does not have a Last Resort Umbreon. Also, like at the very bottom there, no Last Resort Umbreon, still got like a 5-1 finish, strong finish, right? Last Resort Umbreon is strong, right? But it's definitely, I think, not a absolute like must-have, okay? The thing is, this person is 100% like an outlier because you know, you see the thing that I was talking about, like with the water types, how Bibarel can kind of like cover your Ninetales weakness, right? So obviously, like his team, very weak to Ninetales. You only really have Nidoqueen plus the mirror match. You could have changed your water type to Bibarel to kind of cover it, but this person chose Suicune. So this person, like the thinking, the mentality makes no sense to me right now. It's probably like too high level for me to understand, and if it was forced into my brain, it would be kind of be like an Indiana Jones situation where my mind would just melt, right? So I don't get it. I do not get it. But what is a Pokemon that you see on every single team comp, every single line of 6, since like we were talking about like the Ferocious in the 6, and this, the Domadores de Bestias, right? It's a Alolan Ninetales, which is not only a fantastic Umbreon counter, right? It also is a pretty adequate water type counter, except for Bibarel. Very good electric type counter, right? Pretty solid, generalist, the generalist counter, like with Linoon. It's got that, alright. Shelgon, it's got that. It's got like fantastic coverage, not just the Umbreon situation, right? Plus, again, it's an opening for your opponent, but with a Water Gunner and Umbreon, you kind of have that, which this person does not have, right? He or she does not have a Water Gunner, and also no Umbreon, and so I'm amazed. I am amazed at this person, okay? Okay, so at this point, we've answered all the questions, right? So let's go back to the team patterns that I can see that make sense, that I think is associated with winning. Now, the electric types, right? So the Domadores de Bestias, completely different from the Ferocious in the 6, because they have a lot of electric types, and it's kind of like a spread, right? Some people have Minun, some people have Raichu. Now, there's 2 team comps here that make absolutely like a lot of sense in terms of electric type team synergy, right? So these ones kind of make more sense to me, okay? But we'll talk about like the synergy, right? So let's start with the one on top, right? Minun is the choice electric for this team because it can beat Umbreon, right? So it can beat Umbreon. Now the thing is, like on this person's team, he doesn't really have like a soft counter to Umbreon, so he just has like Alolan Ninetales and like the Mirror, and like the rest is kind of like Vaporeon's there, but it's very clutch, right? So yeah, Minun is there to kind of like add to the like Umbreon coverage, and then it kind of like synergizes really well with Linoon, because what's Minun weak to compared to like Raichu, right? What's like the difference in the weaknesses, right? Linoon can cover the electric types much better compared to Skuntank, right? It does have to land the dig though against other Minun, but Minun versus Minun is a mirror match, right? Minun really has a problem with Raichu. And with Raichu, Linoon just has to throw straight Grass Knot. You'll kill Raichu, okay? Even if it lands a Wild Charge and let's say you block a Brick Break, you'll still win, okay? So yeah, it kind of like synergizes that way, and I guess that's much better. It looks like this person is covering Linoon's weakness to Umbreon by having Vaporeon, Minun on the team, right? That type of situation, right? So the thing is, another thing that you can think about is Raichu does so much better versus the Steels, right? Because it's got Brick Break, right? It's got Brick Break, okay? So Minun pairs much better with Linoon because Linoon also has the steals much better compared to Skuntank. Skuntank has a bad time with the steals. Linoon can actually like beat the steals, so yeah, I think this is like it makes more sense, right? There's like layers of synergies happening. Now with the bottom team comp, the person has Raichu to cover Skuntank's weakness to steel, plus actually like the team is very weak to steel. Shelgon, Piloswine, and Skuntank, and also Alolan Ninetales, of course, right? All lose to Lyron, right? So I think that, yeah, Raichu is the much better anti-steel electric type Pokemon, because Minun can do it as well, but not as good as Raichu. Raichu's just like that Brick Break hurts, dude. It hurts, right? It's non-stabbed, and it's coming from Raichu, right? But it does hurt, okay? So yeah, it's much better with that. Now the thing is with Raichu, it can't beat Umbreon, right? So Skuntank, actually, if you have like fantastic IVs, actually not really like that fantastic. Like your IVs, your defense IV doesn't have to be as high as like what it needs to be for Vaporeon. I think it's like 70 something for Skuntank, right? something like that. But you come out with like single digit HP, right? But yeah, you can beat Umbreon with Skuntank. The thing is, Linoon cannot. So think about it like this: if you had Raichu Linoon, you would have very good coverage against other electrics plus the steel types, but be very weak to Umbreon, right? Because both of those Pokemon cannot do it. The thing is, Raichu gets pretty close, but still can't do it. Linoon, no, it doesn't get close, not at all. Okay, so and if you go Minun, Skuntank, you have a lot of Umbreon coverage, but with all the other stuff that Raichu and Linoon cover, you're kind of bad, especially the steel types, right? So if you had a team like Shelgon, Piloswine, Alolan Ninetales, Skuntank, and then you chose Minun, you'd be really, really weak to the steel types. Minun can still do it, sure, but it's not as good as, again, it's really not as good as Raichu. So that's kind of like the synergy there. And then last thing is you kind of like synergize it with your water type, right? So up top, you can see that this person chose correct with Vaporeon because that increases your Umbreon coverage because Linoon is weak to Umbreon, right? Linoon loses to Umbreon by a lot, I would say, by a lot, okay? And yeah, down below, you can see that that person does not have a hard counter to Alolan Ninetales. He does have, he or she does have Piloswine, right? Piloswine can handle Alolan Ninetales plus plus Skuntank, right? Which those are soft counters, but I mean having Shelgon on your team, Raichu on your team, kind of makes you weak to Alolan Ninetales, and so you can see that that person is increasing their Alolan Ninetales coverage with Bibarel. Okay, so you kind of have that whole. You get that pattern, that synergy, that feel, that flow. Okay, you're making thoughts and ideas in your head now. You're looking at your team comp at a whole nother level. This is great. Emerging Pokemon strategies, okay? Piloswine is a lot like Guan's Alolan Sandslash, right? Very, very similar. Powder Snow, Avalanche, Powder Snow, Ice Punch, and then Bulldoze. They both have Bulldoze. Piloswine, you might want to run Stone Edge for Ninetales though, but yes, very, very similar. The thing is, Piloswine is a lot weaker to the Steel types because you want that Stone Edge for Ninetales, right? And I guess, you know, Alolan Sandslash is a lot weaker to the Electric types because it is not a ground type, right? So yeah, you know, side grade type situation. And that's it. That is how to build a team that will possibly win you the Ferocious Cup. I want you to get to that point where it's just about prediction and skill, right? I don't want you to lose because you had like a hole in your team, you had like massive holes in your team and stuff, and it's kind of difficult to figure that out here in the Ferocious Cup because the differences between these Pokemon are very, very tiny, right? Very tiny because it's all a soft counter type situation, mostly, right? Yeah. So before I leave you, I just want to throw you to some next level strats that I've been seeing. And now the thing is, I said that we talk about Suicune, right? I definitely feel something there. There is 100% something there, but I cannot talk about it with confidence because I haven't really figured it out myself, okay? But for Suicune, if you want to figure out like a good Suicune strat, I got you, okay? It's from Toshi, okay? Toshi has this really good article on like right up on Reddit, and I linked it in the pinned comment down below. It's called like Slide Suicune, okay? Slide Suicune strategy, okay? Check it out. It's a good read. It's a solid way to think about it. Plus, I think you should know this strategy because it might become very popular, okay? So, I'm gonna test it out as well, okay? So, yeah. Slide Suicune style. Another thing that you definitely must 100% watch is how to QSA, alright? How to QSA. I've been practicing it. I suck at it. I click on the thing, it's oh god, okay, it's charge TM. Dang it. Did I just say charge TM? Charge attack. You can see how frustrated I am with the charge TM. It's just coming out of me. It's like pouring out of my pores and stuff. So, yeah, QSA definitely 100%. You need to know how to do that, and I've got it linked down below. It's a next level strat. You should know it. I don't do it all the time. Let me give you some tips, right? I think the best time to do it is when you're locked into something and you want to throw stuff at it, right? If you want to throw stuff at it, then you QSA. That's like the best thing. What I do is if this is the phone, right, I tap here and then I lightly tap the thing and then I QSA. But anyways, I'm not good at explaining it. I'm not good at doing it. But that video will for sure teach you how to do it adequately. It's from Wild Susan Boyle, okay? Who is a very, very good trainer, all right? Last thing, last one, right? Last one is how to play Alolan Ninetales mirror match. This is from For the Battles. Also another strategy that I've been using quite often, right? Quite often, and yep, it saved me quite a few times now. I think it's a very, very solid way to look at that matchup that might happen. And actually has been happening to me quite often, right? So yeah, definitely watch that. Again, everything is linked in the pinned comment. Definitely check out those videos, read that article, and send them my love. All right, like leave Toshi some thumb, like what is it called, upvotes, right? And for the videos, maybe subscribe to their channel if you liking the content, right? But definitely at least leave a like, right? Plus leave some comments. You know, oh, Bengpai sent me here. What's that? Vange Senpai, Bengpai. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to help lift the stress just a teensy bit, right? Because it is a frustrating time to be a PvPer, right? The charge TMs are the most savage part of the situation. The most horrible thing about being a PvPer is running out of charge TMs and having a trash charge attack on your Pokemon because you know for sure you're gonna lose, right? It sucks. There's like an embarrassing, also like your rank, right? There's like all these like, it sucks. I'm with you there, alright? Remember to leave a like, comment down below. What is the worst amount of charge TMs that you've had to spend on one Pokemon to get the right move? Alright, what is the worst, just tell me how much, okay? Horror stories down below, okay? Subscribe if you haven't yet, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys!